All right. I think we are live here. We should be. It's a Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, as we show up every single Wednesday. Well, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you're watching this on the replay, welcome. And hey, join us here live. All you need to do is, go to takeactioncrew.com. You can join the Facebook group, which is Rock Your Brand Podcast Group. And then that's where we talk all about business and brand building and all of that fun stuff. But if you want to just go to the Facebook page, you can go there and you'll be notified when we go live. But what we're going to do today, what we're going to be talking about today is how to write an email and sell at the same time. I talked about this in the past, but I wanted to give you some examples. I'm going to share with you two different examples of how you can write an email and deliver goodwill and sell at the same time. I'll give you two examples, two recent examples. And then I'm also going to show you something I literally drafted up this morning and I sent out to my list, and I'm already getting some gold back. Gold. Like, yes, I'm not getting physical gold coming back, but I am getting gold by the responses that I'm getting. And I'm going to share with you exactly what that looks like. It probably took me longer to pick out the color that I wanted to use more than actually the time it took to write this morning's email. So I'll give you guys a little bit more on that here shortly. But I just want to welcome everyone that is joining in here live today on this Wednesday morning. It's bright and sunny out there. You might even see some sun glaring through. But it's a beautiful day, fall day. And I'm super excited. I got a lot of great things planned here for the coffee talks and for the podcast and for some fast track workshops, which are going to be coming soon. But we just got wrapped up with the email list building workshop. And if you guys have not attended that, I would love it if you would go check that out. And if you think it will help you, go ahead, take the class. It's going to take you about 2.5 hours and you'll be ready and set to go out there and build yourself an email list from scratch, up to 500 subscribers within 30 days or less. So that's what I got for you there. And if you want access to that, let me give you the little link there. You can go to brandcreators.com/list and you'll get that class where you'll get access to the workshop that we did. You can watch it on demand. So check that out. All right, let's see who's in the house here today. Let's see who's showing up for our coffee talk. Salma, what's going on? How are you? Kate's in the house. Good morning from Idaho. In the flow. I love it. I love it. Morning. Morning to you, Kate. Phil, good morning to you. Dean, what's up? Morning. Let's see. This one is, I think, a business account. So hi, everyone. Let's see. Voice not clear, audio good. That's interesting. Is Salma the only one, or do we have an issue with StreamYard again? Let's see. Atlanta's in the house. Let's see here. You're blurry. Oh, this is great. All right. So I guess we have another connection issue here. Let me, the video is not clear. Blurry. Video's not clear. Not this again. All right, let me go ahead and switch my settings here and see if this changes anything. Let me know if it clears up. I might go off camera and back on camera. Let me know. I'll tell you what. Let me know if I switch over. Let's see here. Let me switch over and try a different. Let me try something here. We'll do this on the fly. Let me know if that's any better, that angle. I'll leave it there for a minute. I'll pull that back. Audio is great, but picture is blurry. Yeah, we had an issue with this about a week ago. It's on StreamYard's end. Let me know, guys. Is the picture still not good? Let me know. Still blurry, a little. Nope. Okay. You know what we might need to do then? I might need to head on over to the Rock Your Brand, and then I'll share it inside of there. I'll have to go there. So there's a delay in video, still blurry. I appreciate you guys doing this for me. That really stinks that I can't. What if I share my screen? Let me share my screen real quick. Let me know what this looks like. Can you guys read that? Let me know if you guys can read that. Can you guys read that? Still blurry, still blurry, still blurry. Man, this was going to be a good call too. Oh, okay. So that's clear, but my video is not. Okay. Well, let's just share a screen then. Let's do that. When you share a screen, it's good. Too small. Am I still blurry though? Okay. Screen share looks better. So it must be something with their feed. Okay. All right. Let's do it then. Let's let me go back here because this is the first one I'm going to share. Right there. All right. So let me, before I start going through this, let me ask you guys, have you guys sent an email to your list if you have a list? It says I'm still blurry. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter if I'm still blurry, I guess, because you can see the screen, right? If I go like that, that's probably not good. If I go like that, it's probably better. Okay. I guess I'm more concerned if you can see this screen share. So just let me know real quick. It's crazy. Looks like it might be on StreamYard's end. Working on a list. Salma says, yes, I can see the screen share. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Earlier. Okay. With MailChimp, your video is better when you just switched. Okay. Oh, so I want it like that? It's better like that? The problem is you can't really see the screen share all that well. Now I'm setting up ConvertKit. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to see which is going to be the best here before we get rocking and rolling. Not that you really have to see the email. Oh, so that's better. My audio or my video is better on that, Kate? No, keep screen share bigger. Okay, good. That's what we're going to do. That's what we'll do. And I can just go like that completely and you don't even have to see me. Could do that too. It's better. Screen share is big. Okay, Iva, thank you. Yeah, good old StreamYard. Don't know what's going on over there. You're blurry still, but the screen share works. Cool. All right. So I don't know if it really matters if you guys can see me. You don't need to see me. You need to see what I'm sharing, but then also I'm going to read through it so we can do that. All right. Cool. And when your image is smaller, it is clear. Okay. So it's clear right now then because I'm smaller? Not that it matters. Like I said. Let's do this. So again, the reason why I wanted to do this, audio is great. Keep screen share large. Like it is, Jake, or do you want me to, or do I actually take me off camera? Before I get going here, 100%. It matters, Scott. We want to see you. Well, the thing is, I don't want to have to switch. I could take us right off of StreamYard. You guys would have to come back in on Facebook. Yes, either way. Just keep you small. Okay, cool. All right, let's do it then. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and walk through this. What I'm gonna be sharing with you guys is how you can still email your list, and you should email your list on a regular basis. I'm emailing my list at least 3 times a week, and that's in, let's see, 2 brands. One brand I just sold, so it's my past brand, I should say. That one there, I was doing 3 times a week for over 2.5 years. And I would then send to the unopens. But a lot of people get stuck there and they're like, well, I don't want to annoy my list. I don't want to oversend. I don't want to sell too much. I don't want to get people mad at me, like all of that stuff. And guys, if you basically have felt that, raise your hand. Okay. Derek says screen share too small. That's as big as I can make it right there. So hopefully this is going to work. So anyway, let me just kind of walk you guys through it. Like I said, even if I was just going to read this and describe it, you guys would get it even if you're just listening. I know it's a little annoying because I'm blurry, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. You write your broadcast emails 3 times a week. Yes, that is true. So let me give you an example. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So a lot of you know, and you guys, if you have any questions while I'm doing this, drop them in the comments, please. Okay. The other thing is I'd like to pick up a little bit more on this on Friday's jam session. So if there's any questions that you want to go deeper on, as far as like go deeper on that topic, let me know and we'll do it for this Friday's jam session. Okay. So you guys know, I literally just wrapped up our email list building fast track, which if you haven't went through it, you really should go through it. Okay. Little shameless plug there, brandcreators.com/list. You should go through that. It's going to be the best investment you've ever made under $50. I promise you that, because we over deliver. Okay. We're going to give you all of what you need and then some. Okay. And it does simplify the process, but we just literally went through this. So if you're thinking about building a list and you just want to see how it's being done and you want to see how to launch a product and you want to see all of that stuff, just follow what I'm doing. Like I'm literally telling you, just look at what I'm doing and model it in your market. That's all you need to do. Okay. So this was after we wrapped up the promotion. Okay. We did a promotion pushing the workshop for about a week. Okay. And we talked about it for probably about, 2 weeks, but we started to really talk more about it about a week before the workshop. Sent some emails. And now at that point, you are going to deplete your goodwill bank. And what I mean by that is every time that you create an email, you send an email, you are going to basically enter someone's inbox and they're either going to be okay with it, or they're going to be a little bit annoyed with it, or they're going to be like, I don't want to hear from this person again, unsubscribe. We're always going to get that. But we always want to be thinking when we're writing an email, we want to deliver some form of value and we want to be able to deposit goodwill. Okay. And so this is how immediately after I got done with the promotion, which actually I could probably do, I don't know if that would be interesting for you guys too, to hear or to see that. I could go back and show you some of those emails I sent while we were going through the promotion. And then this is post promotion. Okay. So this is, and I'm going to read through this and I'm going to talk through some of the things that are happening here. Now, I don't always think about the things that are happening, but I know just because I've done it over and over and over again, and I'll walk you through it. Okay. So I don't want you to think like we're doing this to persuade people in a negative way. We're doing it because we know that that's what resonates with people. And we know that that's what people need in order to be reminded or to get them to basically get pushed over the fence a little bit so they get involved, right? That's what we're doing here. So the subject line, if you notice here, all lowercase, that's intentional. Okay. That is intentional. And the reason why is because I'm always writing as if I'm writing to one person and if I'm writing to a friend, right? If I'm going to write to my buddy Jimmy, I'm not going to worry about capitalizing. I'm not going to worry about having the best grammar. Now, I'm not saying be sloppy, but I'm saying like you do want to write as if you're writing to a friend. So this subject line, very simple, but it also lends itself to some curiosity. And it will relate to someone that wants to get results, right? So it says, do this and you'll get results. In the brackets, I put no matter what. So if you're on my list and you read this, you're like, do this. And you're like, okay, do what? And then it says, and you'll get results. And you're like, I want results. and then you put in there no matter what, that means that if you do this, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a result, right? So that's it. That's the subject line. Now, let me read through the email. I've been thinking about this over the past few days after wrapping up my email list building workshop last week. Now, let me time out there. I jump right in. I don't say, hi, John. I don't autofill any of that stuff. I don't do that, right? Now, in some of my other brands, I will put something like, hi there, friends, or hi there, friend, something like that. But this here, my audience, my market pretty much knows who I am. So, and I want it that way, right? So I just want to jump right in. I don't want to have to worry about like introducing myself and all of that stuff. That's kind of like your little nurture sequence that you would have. That would be like maybe 2 or 3 emails. That's it. This here is like, we're picking up back, that conversation again. Okay. So it's like, I've been thinking about this over the past few days after wrapping up my email list building workshop last week. What I'm doing there is I'm also letting you know, if you didn't know, that I did an email list building workshop last week. And now you're saying, I didn't hear about that. I missed that email, right? And I'm also letting you know that we just wrapped it up. Okay. So that's first. Let's move on. The one thing that will always get you results is being consistent and committing to whatever you are working on. And I know this because every single person I talk to, they say they either struggle with being consistent or they struggle with committing to doing it, right? So I turn that right around and I go, listen, the one thing that will always get you results is if you're consistent and you commit to whatever you're working on. And that right there also allows you to say, yeah, that is right. I mean, if you go to the gym every day, and you commit to that, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get a result. You're going to get inevitable. It's going to happen, right? So you make up that decision in your mind. You're like, yes, that's true, right? So immediately, you and I are, we're friends, and I'm telling you the truth, right? So it's a way to do that. Now, when I'm writing this, I didn't think of that. I just always think that I want to always lead with something that brings attention to where I'm headed, but also I want to start wrapping stories in there, okay? So the story is I just wrapped up this email list building workshop. And the one thing that I've realized is that when people are consistent and they're committing to something, they get results, right? So then I go on to say, but I see people that make things either too hard or overcomplicate things and never take action. It's true, right? And you're like, yeah, I can relate to that, right? Overcomplicate, we make the process harder than it needs to be, right? And then from there, I move on to, I received a few messages over the weekend from some students that went through the email list building fast track workshop, and they told me they created their lead magnets after putting it off 4 months. Okay. What am I doing there? I'm bringing up the story that, number one, we just wrapped up, like I just said, the list building workshop. There's students that went through it, social proof. Okay, so I'm adding a piece of social proof there because if you just read this email, you're like, yeah, did anybody go through the workshop? Yes, there are students that went through the workshop. So there's a little bit of social proof there, right? Kind of baked in. And then I said some students that went through the email list building fast track workshop, highlighted it, hyperlinked it, didn't say click there, but people will click there. And because they want to go to the email list building fast track workshop, right? And they told me they created their lead mags after putting it off for months. So it also says that even though they didn't get out there and start building their list yet, it told them, because these people told me, that they've been on the sidelines for so long, but now after going through the workshop, they've actually taken action and did something one step closer to getting their list started. So that doesn't have to be this, I took the class and I got 5,000 emails in 3 days. It's, I've been putting this off for months, even years. And now that I took the class, I'm finally getting this thing going, right? Boom. And that could be you. You could be like, that's me, right? So you're resonating with it. I'm adding a link in there that you could automatically click. And then we go to the next thing. Do you think having a better chance of building, or do you think that they have a better chance of building their email list now? So you would say, you would answer that question and you would most likely say yes, right? So again, I'm reiterating that, complicating things and we put things off, we make things too hard, but now someone went through the workshop, they got a better, they got better clarity, they got a simple process to follow. And then I ask you that question. So you ask yourself, because you're automatically going to ask yourself that question. And then I answer it for you. And I say, of course they do. smiley face, right? A little personality thing, right? We can kind of, connect. No matter what you're working on, you need to make a commitment to yourself and stay consistent, which is true. I've got a personal example. Right now, I'm writing this email to you, even though I have my family in town and I could have just put it off, right? So now I want to time out here real quick. I'm giving you a personal example. And what this personal example is doing is it's letting you know that I have family in town. Scott's all about family, right? So I'm bringing that back up again. I'm not telling you that, but I'm telling you that I have family in town and I could have just put this off. But because I have a commitment to my list and to my people, that I'm going to show up, even though I'm sitting there with my granddaughter, by the way, right? Now, I know a question that people always ask is, Scott, how often do you put pictures and stuff? I don't do it until after I've established a relationship with the list. The reason is because I want to be able to get my email delivered as good as possible through the spam traps and all that stuff. So I would not put an image in my first 5 emails, let's say. But now I do this maybe every 3, maybe every 4 emails, but just one image. So I got a little, I got a little sidetracked there, but let me just get back to it here. So I put side note. I was actually holding my grandbaby and still staying consistent to what I committed to. So what's this do? It lets you see that, to me, family is important, right? It also shows a cute picture of me and my granddaughter, which, who doesn't love looking at a cute little baby, right? It also shows you that even though I am dedicated to my family and stuff, I still will stick to my commitment, which only takes me 15 minutes, right, to do. And by having an email list, you're still being able to do something that can help your business on a regular basis, right? So all of that stuff is kind of wrapped in there, right? So now as you scroll down, but I committed to writing an email at the beginning of every week, and no matter what, all caps, I write the email, which is true. This allows me to stay consistent with my schedule, and it develops a habit, which I will repeat on a regular basis, which is also true. It only takes me 15 minutes or so, but I make sure it gets done. True. I just said it up there, right? My granddaughter's right there. So my question to you is, are you committed? Are you consistent? Are you taking action on a regular basis? I'll give you one more example. Every week, I've been doing my morning coffee talks, and I have not missed one since I started, which is true, right? I started at 7 days a week, up to 100 episodes, 100 plus episodes. And then I switched to where I was going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But when I made the switch, I stuck to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? I didn't skip one. Okay. You guys can vouch for that. And then I said, why? Because I made the commitment to do them and created a weekly routine that now is automatic. Commitment and consistency is the key to getting results. So I'll leave you with that. Think about it today and ask yourself those hard questions. Are you committed and consistent? If you're not, there's good news. You can always start today. As always, remember, I'm rooting for you, Scott. P.S. Being consistent and committed to sending a message to your email list is probably the easiest thing you can do. Think about it. You write an email and direct people to focus on whatever you want in your brand. Right now, I'm bringing attention to email list building and how committing to being consistent can really help you get results. But if you don't have a list yet, that's what you need to do first. Need help? Watch the on-demand email list building fast track workshop here. This is the easiest way to build a list to 500 subscribers in 30 days or less. Questions? Any questions before we move on to the next one? All right, guys, do you see how that's wrapping in goodwill? There's lessons in there. There's a story in there. You're getting personality in there, and there's selling in there. I want people to click on that link and enroll in the workshop. Now, do I want people to enroll in the workshop just because you're going to make money on the workshop? No, that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is for them to get a result, also to filter out people that are just tire kickers and people that are going to commit to going through a 2-hour workshop. But also the end in mind is to get those people up to speed to where they're now able and wanting to join Brand Creators Academy. Full transparency, right? That email sold a very small portion of that, and it was not aggressive. So again, that's how you do it. This is post promotion, by the way, right? This is after the promotion. So let me see if you guys got any questions. Let's see here. What prep or outline do you do prior to writing the emails? Nothing. I really don't anymore, Salam. I mean, I might have in the past, like said, okay, I want to start with a story. I want to start and lead in. Like, I always start with, where am I leading them? What is the call to action going to be? Right? I think that's where you need to start. Where's the call to action? Anybody that has an email that has more than one call to action, I would encourage you to only have one call to action. Now, there are times that you might want to have two calls to action, but the problem with that is you are going to get, you're going to get less clicks, because then again, it's confusing, or it's like, I don't know which one I should click, or I'm not going to click any, right? So a lot of times, if we can emphasize one thing, then we can drive people there. But there's been times that I'll put something in my super signature, which is the signature down below, that might be like, need help building your brand? Grab the Brand Creators Playbook.com for the entire roadmap, and that would be highlighted. That's it, right? But that's another call to action, which is similar to the original one, but this here was just the email list building workshop. Let's see here. This is awesome email. Thanks for sharing and walking us through. No problem, Jake. Salman, when do you use automated emails versus broadcast? Automated emails for me is only to deliver the goods, to deliver the product, and then follow up to make sure that they're consuming the thing that they downloaded, the thing that they bought. That's the only time I'm doing automated emails. I'm not going to create this massive, 6-month-long automated sequence, because you hear that people say, set this thing up once and let it just drip for, 2 years. No, I want to just get those people those results. Then I can start putting them into separate buckets after that. And then I like to write my email every single week. I like to have a hand, a thumb on the pulse, right? I like to know where my market is, right? It's not about automating that for me. So everybody falls in love with automation. I actually don't like automation, to be honest with you. Chris Schaefer, on the other hand, loves it. He loves the automation piece because you do something once and you don't ever have to do it again. I get that. There's times that it's good, and there's times that it's not. Right? In this case, I do not believe that you should just focus on building an automated sequence that's going to get you to, so you don't have to write emails anymore, right? The emails don't have to be long, right? They do not have to be long. They can be, and I'm going to share one with you today that I just sent that's really short, and it's really easy to do, right? And I would encourage you guys all to do that. Notting Hill Interiors, great info. Yeah, thank you. Darek, do you use any tools to write your emails? No, I use a text doc. I write the text doc myself first, and then I copy it into ConvertKit. And the only reason why I do that is because sometimes if I'm in ConvertKit, it seems like it's a little clunkier for me to write. I'd rather just write, which I'm not a good writer. I don't type with these fingers the way that you're supposed to, by the way. I think I use like maybe 3 fingers. That's it. So I should probably take a class on that. Kay says, it takes me at least an hour to write an email. Is that normal? I'm assuming it gets faster over time. Yes, it gets faster over time. But the other thing is sometimes you just got to get it out there, Kate. You can't sit there and just think it's got to be perfect. You got to get it out there. So what I'll do is I'll write it, I'll read it, I'll tweak anything, and then what I'll do is I'll read it out loud. That's something that Chris Schaefer had shared inside of our academy, which I think is a big takeaway, is like, read your email out loud as if you were going to read it to someone, and you'll see how it flows. But yeah, if it's taking you an hour, it has taken me an hour before. But it just depends on the email. But a lot of times now it's like 15-20 minutes tops. But again, I'm not a good writer. I wasn't good in school. So if I can do it, you can do it. I promise you. Do you include your weekly podcast in your emails? I don't anymore. I used to. I don't do that anymore. Now, if I had a guest on that I wanted to bring attention to, I might, but usually I do not do that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't. It just means that I don't. It just depends, on what you want to do. I was doing that on my Friday emails, was always like a recap email. I haven't been doing that. Let's see. Do you follow any themes per day of the week with emails? Whatever I'm focusing on at that time. Like right now, it's email list building, guys. Email list building. If you guys have been on the coffee talks, you guys have seen this all unfold. I asked you guys what you guys wanted to learn more about, email list building or digital product creation. You guys voted for email list building. That's the next thing up. We did a workshop. We sold the workshop. We delivered the workshop. Now we're getting it ready to turn evergreen, hopefully this week. And then from there, I'm still going to be talking about email list building, because then what happens is everything's built. Now all I do is drive traffic there. Then probably in November, a little insider thing here for you guys, or I guess behind the curtain. November is going to probably be the fast track workshop for creating your own digital product. So that's going to probably be coming. So keep an eye out for that, and you can watch this thing unfold. Okay. But right now, my attention is going towards bringing attention to the email list building workshop, right? It's done. It's built. It's awesome. I'm proud of it. Chris is proud of it. And I think anyone that went through it will vouch for it's an amazing training for that little investment that you make. So yeah. I think it takes a long time because I'm trying to put thought into it and make it worth reading. Yes, true. But you can always share, like I said, a little bit of yourself, a little bit of a story, or something that you just received from maybe someone that read a blog post, or they emailed you and you wanted to bring attention to that. Like I had people emailing me after the workshop saying like, wow, it's taken me so long to get my lead magnet picked out. I've been putting it off, but now I got it. I know what it's going to be, and I'm going to finish it by Sunday. And so when they told me that, I'm like, I'm going to share that. What's it doing? It's telling people that have that same fear or that same struggle that these people had it too, but now that they went through the workshop, it's gone, right? And it's social proof that someone is actually going through it, and I get to talk about it, right? It's the same idea. So always try to use stories from within your market and your community. That's why we want to ask them open-ended questions. How often do you outsource your work? Well, it just depends. If it's writing content for my niche sites, it's I do that, right? But as far as like me writing the emails, I'm writing my own emails. I do not want to outsource that. So yeah, I think that's one thing that's going to be hard to outsource unless you have someone that you outsource that is dedicated to that market. They understand that market and they're the voice of the brand. They're going to give the voice and the tone and the personality of the brand. Is it humor? Is it seriousness? Is it data driven? Like who is that? Let's see, Kate, what about including a link to an article that supports your topic, an article that is not necessarily ours? Does that add more value? Yes. If you don't have an article, but you have an article that you found that's amazing, send people there. And then the other thing you can do is you can reach out to that blog post owner and say, hey, I just want to let you know, I love your post that you wrote. And I actually just sent it out to my email list of, 1,200 people. Thanks for doing what you do. I appreciate you. And that's it. And then that person's like, cool. And now you start a relationship with that other blogger, and who knows, you do something in the future that you guys share each other's stuff. Just saying, right? Yes, you totally can do that. Derek, is the next workshop digital product creation? Yes, it will be. I'll just throw it right out there. It was going to be a toss-up between digital product creation and then email, like basically this, email marketing in general, like how to write effective emails. That was going to be the next one. But we're going to, I believe, 95% sure we're going to do digital product creation next. Let me know, guys, too. Digital product creation, because the way that I look at it is when you have an email list now, you have a channel to sell something. So why not build that product and get that thing up and running so we can sell it to the email list that we just built, right? The email marketing, the promotions, that type of stuff. We'll do a little bit of that when we get into like the digital product creation, because I'll probably give that as a bonus, to be honest with you, like a little three email profit push so you can launch your first product and how to do it effectively. But we could do a whole workshop on just how to write emails like this, right? And doing email reviews and all of that stuff. That will be coming down the line as well. Do you aim for a particular length, or message is more important however long it needs to be? Yes. I don't worry about length. It's as long as it needs to be, as short as it needs to be. And a lot of times short works really well because then there's not a lot to read and they can just go to the call to action. Let's see. Yes, definitely digital product creation. Yes, digital product creation would be good. Okay, cool. All right, let me get to another. You guys want me to do one more? I got two more, but you want me to do at least one more email? Want me to go ahead and do what I just did, kind of walk you through it? Give me a yes or a no. And I don't want to take up your time if you're not interested in seeing that. Kay says yes. And by the way, today, guys, something I talked about this yesterday. I've been putting it off a little bit. I don't like writing sales copy all that much. We're putting together some sales messaging for the email list building workshop. I might even do a session here in the coffee talk where I open that up and then you guys give me feedback on it and help me with some messaging. I think that would be a cool little exercise for you guys to do along with me. It'll also help me create better sales messaging, which is basically you're just connecting with that person where they are. Okay. I see a lot of yeses. All right, cool. We're going to do it then. All right. Moving on. All right. So the next email I sent after this was this. Stop waiting or you'll be left behind. So number one, you want to know, okay, like stop waiting on what? And then you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be left behind. I don't want to be left behind. No one wants to be left behind, right? So again, the subject line, they're really important. And there's a different philosophy that goes into those. I sometimes will say exactly who I'm trying to call out. So in this case, it's not necessarily calling out one specific area. It's not like saying like, do you want to build an email list? ? That would be targeting only people on the list that would say, yes, I want to learn that, or I'm curious about that. And then other people aren't going to pay attention to it. This here's a little bit more vague, but still curiosity driven. And you don't want to get left behind. And you know that it's about building a brand because you know that's what I talk about. So let me get into it. So I start right off and say, I know that sounds a little harsh. And yes, I capitalized stop on purpose to get your attention. And if you're reading this, I did. Right? So let me just time out here for a minute. I am being 100% open, transparent with my readers. Okay. And what I mean by that is if they read this, they're like, all right, what? And then they get in here and they're like, that was kind of harsh. And then I'm like, I call it right out. So if you feel as though you're emailing too much or people are getting annoyed or whatever, call it right out. Go, I know it's the weekend. I normally don't email. And I know that some people might be, wondering why. Well, here's why, right? Like you just call it out, right? Like you just call it out. So that's what here they're not saying to themselves, oh, I see what they're doing. They're a little harsh. They capitalize that stop to get me to stop. Yeah, I did. Yes, you're right. I did. And guess what? You're reading this. So it worked, right? Because I need your attention, because if I have your attention, I can help you, right? That's what it's about. It's not about tricking you to get you in and going, oh, you thought it was this. Now it's this. No, I'm not saying that. I'm trying to get your attention because I know your inbox is cluttered and it's got a lot of stuff in there and a lot of people screaming at you. I want to make sure that I get your attention because I do believe that I can help you, right? So that's all I'm doing there. So I said here, yesterday we wrapped up our last email list building workshop and it was awesome, which is true. So wait a minute, I time out. This was the email before. The last one there was the one after. So this one here was the one I sent directly after we stopped promoting. So it says, yesterday we wrapped up our last email list building fast track workshop and it was awesome. Again, I'm bringing attention to the email list building fast track workshop, but we also had people saying they've been waiting until, and I put insert reason or excuse, and now don't know why they did it for so long. So again, people put it off. They put it off. They put it off, insert, reason or excuse here. Not enough time, too technical. Not sure what my lead magnet is. Not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. Like all of these things, insert excuse, right? So then I go on to say, seriously, after you understand the power of having your own email list to message your market on a regular basis, it changes everything, which is true. Okay. So today, my message to you is simple. Stop waiting. Okay. You don't have to wait until you have your product ready. You have your website finished. You have your content to send them. You have time to figure everything out. You just need to start, period. Now, all of these here, All of these reasons, these are reasons that people have told me. So again, when I get information from people saying like, I haven't started because I don't have enough time. I haven't started because my website's not finished yet. I haven't started yet because I don't have a product yet to sell, right? These are things that people have told me. So what am I doing? I'm putting them in there because if one of those calls out to you, you're like, yep, that's me. Instantly relate to you, right? So again, this is why it's important. And you're going to see in my next one, my next email that I sent out today on how that's also going to help me serve my audience better and create languaging and messaging and all of that stuff. So anyway, so I go on to say all that. And then I go, no more excuses or reasons why you're waiting to build your list. Here's what Kevin had to say after he attended the workshop, which is true. And here's another piece of social proof. And it's not me saying it, it's Kevin saying it, right? Biggest takeaway so far equals start super simple. Get it out into the internet verse, add sophistication later if necessary. And that was directly from the chat inside of the workshop. So I basically took what Kevin had said in his own words and I used it there, right? So you're thinking to yourself when you're reading this, you're like, okay, his biggest takeaway was start super simple. Yeah, I want to start simple. Get it out into the interverse or internet verse, and then add sophistication later if we need to, and it might not even be necessary, right? So the key word there is super simple, right? And I said that a lot in the workshop, but that's what we focus on, okay? Then I go on to say, if you're ready to start building your email list the easy way, then go through our email list building fast track workshop here, hyperlinked, right? We are finalizing the video recordings and should be ready by the time you read this or mail or soon after. Plus, we just added another cool bonus that you're going to love. Smiley face. We're giving you access to a 30-day case study that you get to watch myself and Chris Schaefer build an email list to 9,000 subscribers in a random niche. It's time to get off the sidelines and get into the game so you can have an asset that works to drive traffic to your brand. If you have any questions, as always, reply to this email. Remember, I'm rooting for you. Scott. P.S. Oh, in that bonus case study, I also included a separate 36-hour case study showing how I wrote and sent 2 emails that got crazy open rates. This stuff works if you just get started and get in the game. Sign up to the email fast track workshop here. Done. No images, 2 links. That's it. Okay. Now, by the way, that case study, that 36-hour case study, if you're in the Brand Creators Academy, you've already seen that or you've had access to it. Basically, what I did is I wrote an email. I sent it out to that new list. I waited 24 hours. I sent to the unopens. And from there, I went back and then looked at so I kind of checked in twice. I sent it. I checked in with the numbers, sent to the unopens. And then I went and I updated with the final numbers after 36 hours. Okay. And so that's part of that case study, but that's like one extra thing that I did there, which is always interesting to see. Me write an email, push send to a random market. It's not the market. It's not this market, right? So this email really is just about people getting out of their own way. Not, no one wants to be on the sidelines. People want to get in the game. They want to play, right? We don't want to sit on the bench. We want to get in the game. So this is a way for you to be able to, number one, see if something here that I spoke to is calling you. And then from there, you're like, you know what, darn it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to join this workshop, right? And again, I'm doing this because I believe in the workshop, right? I believe in building a list. If you do build a list, you will have an asset that you can drive traffic to on a regular basis, just like I'm showing you right here, okay? I write an email, 15 minutes while I'm drinking my coffee, I push send. And if that's all I want to do for the day, I've done something that's going to reach thousands. Okay. And I don't have to worry about a Google algorithm. I don't have to worry about Facebook. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. If that's all I wanted to do on a daily basis, I could. But if I just wanted to do it 3 times a week and then send to the unopens, I've done something that's driving traffic to my brand every single day. Okay. And that's not automated. Now your email sequence can be, but that's not automated. This is actually me writing this up. Okay. Any questions on that one before I share my last one here with you? Oh, let's see. Okay. Iva says, yes. Can you talk about subject lines? I so struggle with that. On Friday, we can talk about subject lines for sure. I love subject lines. I love using day-to-day topics for emails. So relevant. Yes, I do too. D, so many golden nuggets here. Yes, I'm hoping for that. Uh, let's see. Your emails are all free form, no format. No, there is. Okay, let me go back to here. Okay, you see how this is all broken up. You see how there's a lot of spacing in between these. I don't ever usually write more than 2, maybe 3 lines. Like, let's see, is there anyone here with 3 lines? Yeah, this one here did because it got pushed. But that's it. I don't, if it's any more than 3 lines, I got to break it. Right. And the reason why I do this, I want it to be scannable. So if you read this, it's easy on the eyes. Right. And you know, like you can see, like I've got a little bit of a bold here that's getting your attention. Then you're reading this, boom, boom, boom. And I double space, right? I double space. And then I always put a PS in there, always put a PS. And all the PS is doing is bringing more attention back to what we already talked about, or it's another thing that might get you to want to maybe look into the call to action that I talked about, which in this case, it's the email list building fast track. So I brought another thing to it. So if you were like, yeah, that workshop sounds kind of cool, I'd like to go through it. Oh, and he's given that bonus with 9,000 subscribers that they built over 30 days. That's cool. I'd love to see that. And then I go in here and I go, oh, and in that case study, there's also another separate little case study in there where I document the process and show you live me sending emails and showing you the open rate, the click-through rate, all that stuff, and how I actually did it. So that's another little thing that you're like, oh, that's another cool thing. I'd be crazy not to do that, which by the way, you would. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's a great training. I'm super proud of it. I'm super proud of these fast tracks that we're going to be doing. Like they're going to be awesome. And inside the academy, you guys know you guys are getting all of these, as being a academy member. But we go deeper inside the academy with like just even people writing their emails. I know Ruth had posted up her sequence that she's going to start running here, and she had a ton of feedback on it. So we do a lot of live reviews on the emails and all of that stuff. But that is for our closed community. But one way that you get an invite in there is if you go through one of these workshops, you get a private invite, right? So, all right, let's see here. All right, one last question here. How many weeks do you usually do promo emails? Generally, it's like we only do a promo like a week, right? Like that's about it. And all emails have some sort of story or connection piece. I like it too. Yes, I do. It just makes it more real, right? Okay. Okay, one more will be from today. Okay, I literally just sent this morning. And this here, I think everyone should do. It took me literally less than 15 minutes to set everything up, okay? So I'm like, you know what? I want to get people's feedback on where they're at right now. I think I know where people want to go, what they need help on, but I want them to tell me. I want them to tell me in their own words for a couple reasons. I want to hear the languaging that they're talking about. I want to hear the common theme, the common thread of what people are talking about so I can better serve them with messaging and with products. Okay. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay. And who doesn't want help and who doesn't want to offer their feedback? Right? A lot of people do. Okay. So this is what I do. And we actually have done this in the other brands that we're associated with. And it works. If you just leave it like this. And I actually created a little survey form in Google Forms, super easy to set up, like real easy. But here's what it is. So it just says, I need your help. I capitalized help on purpose, right? I is lowercase. Again, if I was to write a friend, that's probably how I would write it. And then I just put in there in brackets, quick feedback. That's it. Okay. So I just said, today I wanted to get a sense of where you are in the journey of building your brand. I have an idea of where my audience struggles, but I'd like to make sure any future trainings are in fact what you need. To be completely transparent, I'm planning on doing at least 2 more fast track style workshops before the end of the year. So I want to make sure I choose the correct topics to teach and that will help you the most. If you can take just 7 seconds to answer this one question, it will really help me serve you better. I know it's a noisy world out there with hundreds of things you can do, and I want to help simplify that and help you get results. As always, remember, I'm rooting for you. Scott. P.S. Your feedback and response here will be anonymous and it takes just 7 seconds. But if you want to add more to your feedback, you can take longer. Smiley face, right? So I'm saying you can literally go there and in 7 seconds, you could basically tell me what's the one thing, right? And so let me do this real quick. Let me click off of that. Let me just do this real quick. See if that will bring that up. Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. All right, let me go back. This is what the form will look like, okay, that I created in Google Forms. So basically what I asked was your dream business. Giving your answer will help me help you build it. What's one thing holding you back from having the business of your dreams? And all they got to do is put in here. It could be time, right? I've had some people already since I've put this out there and they put one word in, time, right? Or too many things to do, too many options, overwhelmed, right? Like all of these things are put in there. Some people are saying like, one thing holding me back is building my email list. One thing holding me back is creating a product. One thing holding me back is website traffic. One thing holding me back is getting my website up and running. One thing holding me back is me. I can't commit to a process and I want to, right? So these are ways for people to give me their direct feedback. And this form here, it's free. You don't even have to pay for it. It's through Google. I think it's G Suite or it's their Drive or whatever. It's their form. So you just create a form and then you get to see all the results and you get to take those and even put them in a spreadsheet. It's pretty cool, right? But that came from this right here. That's it. And I literally just sent that out. What is it? 10:51 right now. I sent that out at around 9 o'clock. So about almost little under 2 hours ago. And I haven't looked right now. I did when I first sent it. I mean, within a half hour, I had probably 30 responses already. So again, like that's going to grow over today. And then tomorrow, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send it out to the unopens, right? And then I'll get a bunch more. So the goal is to get about 100 responses would be great. But if you only get 20, that's fine, right? Depending on the size of your list. We did something similar in one of the niches that we use as a case study inside the academy. And we did what we call the naked email, which is basically doing this exact thing. But we actually wanted them to reply to the email, not even just fill out a form. And we had over 90 responses from a small list, which is great, right? So again, this stuff doesn't have to be hard, guys. This is an email that anyone can draft up. You can even take this and model it if you want to. Super easy to do. And I would encourage you to do something like that. All right. So I'm going to leave it on that page for now. Any questions before we wrap up? Today went long. Let's see here. Is the Google Forms in ConvertKit? No, it's not. It's just a link that you can share from your Google Doc or your Google form. Yeah, G Suite. Yep. How often do you ask for feedback? I would say, I mean, you could do once a month, but I wouldn't overdo it because then it's like, well, you're asking something every single day, right? It's like, you don't want to do it all the time. Now, what I might do on this next one is I may send out one that has like multiple choices after I get this data back and say something like the upcoming fast track workshops that I'm going to be doing are going to be on these 3 different topics. What one do you want done first? And then I would have like email marketing and messaging. Then I might have another one that says creating digital products. And then another one might be creating content for my website, like something like that, right? And then there would be 3 different ones. I'll take the results from that, and that's what will probably lead me to the next, fast track workshop. And I'm also, by the way, what's happening here, a couple things. As me doing this, I'm not asking you to buy anything, okay? But I am asking you for your feedback. Now, I did mention in there, this is going to help me with future trainings. Yes, some's going to be free, like doing these coffee talks are free, but there's going to be some paid. So you know that I'm also saying, I'm going to probably try to sell you something at another time. It's going to help you, but I'm going to try to sell you something. So I'm letting people know there's going to be more fast track workshops, which they're not free. They are going to be a small investment, right? So I'm letting you know that ahead of time, right? So another example is if you're going to create an ebook, you would want to then maybe message your audience and start getting some feedback from them and say, hey, I'm working on an ebook. It's going to be hopefully released here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. What I'd love to do is get your feedback on it. Here's the outline so far. Here's the topics. Is there anything that you would like to see included here? And by you helping me, I'll be sending out a special 50% off when this goes live. So we're then building a pre-launch list, right? And we're getting feedback so we can make that a better product. So we're almost like pre-selling it in a sense. So that's something else you can do. All right, let's see here. And we're going to wrap up here. Steve says, why Facebook? I don't know. She's talking to Iva, I guess. Kate, this is something that I haven't seen before, which is refreshing. Feels like a nice way to interact with your email list. Cool tool. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. It is cool. It's fun. And then Derek, do you ask them to complete a survey in your email? You can, but not in the email necessarily. Now, you could do it in ConvertKit as far as if you just wanted to put down like 3 different links, and those 3 links would be the choices. So it could be like, I'm thinking about doing a fast track workshop in November. Here's the 3 topics that I'm thinking about doing. Select or click the one that you would like to see first. And then you would just put a link there. And then those links would then get tracked as a click. And then you can go, oh, that one got 13 clicks. That one got 30 clicks. That one got 5 clicks. And then you can go off of that. You can also tag them in ConvertKit too to say, this one here is for the email list building workshop. This one here is for the product creation workshop. And this one here is for the content creation workshop, right? And you could tag those people separately, which is super easy to do in ConvertKit. But you don't even have to get that fancy. So yeah. So, all right, cool. I think that's it. I hope that you guys got value from this. I'm sorry that the video quality for my end didn't work out well. I'll have to figure that out. Hopefully Friday it'll be back, but we'll see. But once again, this whole thing here that I've been talking about, it all happens because you have an email list. And if you don't have an email list yet, or you want help building one or creating a better one, head on over to brandcreators.com/list. Now, guys, you see what we just did there? It's so easy, right? Like, it's not forced. I'm not selling you. I'm not forcing anything on you. I'm basically just talking about email list building, writing an email. I just showed you how to write 3 different style emails, right? How to incorporate story, how to incorporate calls to action, how to create a PS, how to create a subject line, like all that stuff. But you got to have a list in order to send an email, right? So if you don't have an email, that leads itself to the workshop, right? So anything that you guys are doing in your business, always find different angles that you can talk about and then bring people back to the thing, right? That's what we're doing here. Friday, we're going to talk about subject lines, how to write you guys should help me come up with a topic name for that. Iva, I know that you said that you wanted to talk about subject lines. What would be like your question? Put that in the comments, in the chat, if you could do that. But that's what we'll do on Friday. We'll talk about subject lines. We can also go deeper into any of these areas. If you guys want me to do more of this, if you guys want me to go back and even go through some of the promotional emails that I did for selling the workshop, I can do that. But you guys got to let me know. I love talking about this stuff. I love teaching this stuff. And probably will be a workshop, a fast track workshop on email writing and how to do it in a cool way that builds trust and loyalty, but then also makes sales. That will probably be a fast track workshop coming down the pike pretty soon. So yeah, let me know on that. And if there's anything else I can do for you guys, let me know in the comments as well. Okay. Kay wanted to know, can you give some examples that you did for your product business that was sold? Okay. We could do another one on that. I can't give you guys the exact emails. I can't give you the exact niche. When we sold the business, obviously we can't make that totally public out there because we don't want anything to happen to that business in a negative way and drum up more competition for him and all of that stuff. So we have to keep that under wraps just because there's got to be privacy there for the new owner. I would not want anything to happen to that. Now, could people maybe do digging and find, a way? Probably, but I'm not going to just go out there and publicly put it out there. But yeah, we could definitely use some different examples for again, it's very similar to what I just did here, right? If we're selling in the bass fishing market and we have a guide that talks all about bass fishing, well, I'm going to share a bass fishing tip, or I'm going to talk about someone that went through my little mini training on how to catch more bass and how Kevin caught more bass and his technique that he used out of the guide. And I'm going to bring attention to it. Or I'm going to be like, this weekend, was a great weekend to get out there with my granddaughter and throw the line in. It was the first time she was ever out at the pond. Even though we didn't catch anything, we had a really good time together. Right. So again, what did that do? It shows you that I'm a family guy. It shows you that I value time. You just have to figure out the angle that you're going to come in at, and you always want to incorporate that story. But yeah, we could totally do that. Let's see here. What is the best way to get subject line attention so they want to open? Okay, I like it, Iva. We'll use that for the Friday jam session headline for what we'll do there. Okay, cool. And D says attention grabbers for Friday's topic is perfect. And Kay says, or your current product businesses. Well, to be honest with you, physical product business, that e-commerce brand was one of my last. So don't currently have one in the physical product, which kind of feels good in a way. Doesn't mean I won't have one here in the future. I'm going to take a little break from that arena. But we're going to take a little bit of a break. But we are going to be building out the one inside of the academy. That's the one we're going to be focusing on next. Don't know if any physical product will be in that one, but there'll definitely be affiliate products, a little more focus there, and digital products. I'll be more than happy to share what I can, Kay. So, all right, guys, that is going to wrap up this coffee talk. Get out there, have an awesome, amazing day. Write an email. If you have an email list, write an email today. Okay. No excuses. If you don't write an email, you don't have a chance, right? You don't have a chance for them to see what you got, right? But Friday, we'll talk about getting attention in those subject lines. I'll share with you some subject lines that worked really well and give you guys some tips for that. Okay. So that'll be Friday on the Friday jam session. If you guys know anyone that wants to join us, send them over to takeactioncrew.com. And then there they can join the Facebook group and we can welcome them in there. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, and I'll see you on Friday. Take care, guys.